Boston Paranormal TV. I'm Sondra Morgan, paranormal investigator with the Greater Boston Paranormal Associates.
I'm Brian Garrity, and we're excited to be here in Winchton, Massachusetts at the Isaac Morse House.
I'm Hurricane Viper. We are excited to meet Don O'Neill inside, where he's going to give us all a tour.
Do you feel it? It went through like a path, like a wave. Are you still here with us? What are your intentions? Murder.
Well, Sondra Morgan, we're back inside the Isaac Morse House, and we are with Don O'Neill, who's the president. And we're going to find out a lot about the house today. Now, this is my first time here. So, Don, can you tell me about the history of the house?
Sure. Well, it's pretty old as far as houses go. It was built in about 1780. It was built and lived in by Isaac Morse. Actually, he was the second owner. It was built by another person prior to that, but Isaac lived in it the longest. He lived here with his first wife and had 6 kids. And that wife, she passed away naturally, and he ended up marrying another woman and had 7 more kids. So he had 13 children living in this one house at one time. He was a businessman here in town. He owned the local hotel, which is a couple of doors down where Cumberland Farms is now, but that was his hotel, and he was just a very prominent businessman here in town. And he lived here for many years. Then it transitioned to a couple of other owners in between. And then in the early 30s, I believe, is when Dr. Skelton bought it. He was the town doctor, and he lived here, or his family owned it for upwards of 60, 70 years. Until his second wife, just got too old to stay here alone. So they put it up on the market and sold it to another couple who owned it for about 4 years and lost it to foreclosure. And the house sat for many years just vacant. And we were staring at it longingly, looking at it across the street, just thinking it would be a good fit to put into our with our museum collection. So in 2016, it went on the market in the morning, and by the afternoon we had an accepted offer, and we've owned it ever since. So we have turned it into our toy museum and ice cream shop, and gift shop is here, as well as Airbnb up here in the second floor where we're talking now is our Airbnb. So people can come here and spend the night investigating, and go over to the Murdoch Whitney across the street and investigate there as well. So it's just it's a great spot to investigate 2 houses at once, basically. So, but it's a house that's welcoming but very dark. So
When you say dark, can you explain it to me?
The energy over here, and I'm the biggest of the non-believers of all this stuff, but when I'm over here, it's a lot sadder. The feeling you get over here, and rightfully so. There's been a few tragedies here that rightfully make it a little bit darker, and but it just does have a little bit of a different feeling when over here compared to the one next door.
Okay, so can you explain some of the things that that happened here, tragedy-wise?
Sure. One of the most recent would have been Dr. Skelton's stepson, Alan. He came home, one day, and he got pulled over for drunk driving after the second time, and he was so distraught and upset about it. He came up to his bedroom, grabbed a shotgun, and blew his head off, and just ended it right there. And shockingly, his mother was downstairs, did not hear it. So she just thought he was in his room, and so he was here for hours and hours before she finally went up, and just walked in the room, and and she saw that. So it was pretty disturbing. A couple of other earlier, there was somebody hung themselves. We haven't quite determined the location. It's either been in the basement or the attic, right across the hall. Been 2 people that have different accounts of that, but there definitely was a hanging. We just haven't verified the spot. So it's just a lot of I think just a little bit more sadness over here than there was at the Murdoch Whitney.
Did events also happen over at the other house as well?
Nothing more than people dying naturally
Okay.
over there that I know of. I haven't heard of anything tragic, as opposed to over here.
So, between the two houses, you saying this one is sadder? Do you feel like this has more activity?
I think, well, maybe not necessarily more, but different. I think a lot of it came over with the toys. There's a lot of energy with all the toys that are here, with children, which we don't see as much next door anymore since we moved them over here. But I just think it's a little bit more, like, I just keep referring back to darker, but it's just a little, like with a lot more, like I've heard shrill screaming, just like bloody murder screaming when we were all sitting in the dining room downstairs. And everybody heard it, but it was, people were up here investigating. They didn't hear it, which was even weirder.
Yeah.
But when we were at that dining room table, we heard a scream like somebody was getting murdered.
Did anyone catch it?
No, because it was just, we were just kind of talking around the table and, not really doing an investigation. We were kind of just minding the house, basically. And so we're like, did you hear that? And we all did. But the people up here didn't.
What other types of evidence have paranormal investigators caught?
We have in the horse room, we have some SLS cam footage of what we believe to be Alan, riding one of the horses kind of on command. We have EVPs of one guy investigating says, I'm going to the bathroom, and somebody clearly says no. And then there's another one in the horse room as well, where you hear the eyes are very creepy, which is kind of neat too, because they are creepy. So they were telling the truth.
So what is the horse room? Maybe I missed that.
Yeah, that's downstairs. That's it's all because Winchendon is known as Toy Town. So the town they were the largest toy manufacturer in the world for up until about 1930s. So we have a room dedicated to rocking horses because that was one of the main things that the toy factories here made. So it's just a whole room full of rocking horses.
Has anyone ever seen one of them moving?
I'm not sure. Possibly. We don't have any evidence of that, but I wouldn't put it. It's not surprising. So, in fact, I've had, again, go back to my non-believer status. The thing that kind of sealed the deal for me for believing was one of the days we were doing having a group doing investigations here. I was walking them through here down at the bottom of the stairs, and I'd explained to them that a month earlier, we were doing Christmas house tours, and a couple of women were at the top of the stairs, and they fell. And both of these women were like, we would never fall down the stairs. It's like almost we were like pushed. And they're like, we're very steady on our feet, and it's just not, something that they would do. And at the same time they fell down the stairs, all the pictures came off the wall. And which was
and they didn't hit them.
They did not hit them, exactly. So I was telling this group that same story, and they're naturally very excited about that. And so I was like, left them like, enjoy your investigation, good luck. And almost on cue, all the pictures came off the wall again. So at that point, I was like, well, I can't really explain that. So yeah.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
So I read somewhere where Sarah, one of the owner's wives. No, Sarah, was that the daughter?
There would be Sarah Morse.
Right,
Yeah.
and so they said that she gets agitated when there's people come in her bedroom.
Well, that'd be across the street.
Oh, that's across the street.
That's
okay. So what's the
connection between the two houses? Yes. Well, Isaac having 13 kids, one of his daughters married a Whitney. So, at a point in time, both of these houses were together by family. So one of the the Whitneys, it became a Whitney house briefly. One of them lived here until somebody died next door and they could move to the big house. Then at one point it did, I think that's pretty much when Dr. Skelton bought it, is when they separated them off. But yeah, that's the connection between the two houses, is just by marriage. So the families lived here.
So regarding the connection, now I've also heard that if people dare to go to the third floor. Now, is that here or
That's,
there?
again, next door as well.
Okay.
Up here, I'd say probably the creepiest room is the room we're sitting in right now.
Right, because when I turned the corner to come up the stairs, I just got this really heavy feeling walking up the stairs.
And this would be the room where Alan did his work. So yeah.
Yeah, even now
Yeah.
I'm feeling it on
In
the
fact,
back
right,
of my head.
exactly, right where we're sitting is where his bed was. So yeah, I can get it. So,
Did something happen in that corner over there?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like I said, the bed was
here?
right here. So yeah, pretty close. But yeah.
So the third floor next door.
Yes, next door. That's
Why is it creepy?
We've had incidents of scratching, just overall weird feeling going up there as well. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Have they ever caught any type of evidence up on the third floor?
Sure. Yeah, there's
We're going to, right?
yeah. There was one other investigation. A woman was taunting, being just really a jerk, and it was in the middle of winter. We don't really heat the third floor up there, and she had this big coat on. She found herself getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Finally, she couldn't stand it. She came tearing down the stairs and just threw off her coat and lifted up her shirt, and it was all scratched right on the back.
That's what happens when you taunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's and that happened on the third floor over there.
Okay. All right, that's really interesting. I mean, I can't wait to investigate the house.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what people can do to get tickets to come here to visit?
Sure. Basically, if you look up the Isaac Morse House on Airbnb, you can stay here for the night, and also it's for an extra charge, investigate over to the Murdoch Whitney house as well. So make it a whole package for the night, and you get the free reign of both buildings for your group. And it's we started doing the Airbnb just about a year ago now, and it's been extremely successful, especially with the paranormal world. People do find that it's a kind of a bonus to be able to spend the night.
Right.
And we're finding that they're really enjoying it. I've had nothing but rave reviews so far, which is wonderful. So basically, you look us up there, you book it for a night or two, for that. And once it gets booked through the Airbnb, I'm in contact with you, and we can kind of cater and tailor, how you want your experience to be. What you want to do, whether you are just going to stay here, which is fine, or if you want to add in the Murdoch Whitney, or we even have a church like a mile or so away too that you can be
Package deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So we have a few options that we can send to you, or cater to your ghost experience.
And we love that.
Yeah.
So just go online to the Isaac Morse House? Or?
Yeah, or go to Airbnb.com and
Okay,
just if you typed in Isaac Morse, it'll pop right up. It's the only one. So and it's Isaac with 2 A's.
Well, I appreciate the time today, Don,
Yeah.
and we look forward to investigating
You're welcome.
and taking the tour.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So while we were upstairs doing our interview with Don, one or two of the gang was downstairs, and we heard this big bang. Well, come to find out, originally we thought it might have been the Ouija board that fell, but this cart with the horse came off of here and landed down here with the wheel. Now there's no way for it to have fallen by itself, so very interesting.
All right, so this is the toy room number 1. It is in the dining room of the house. Winchendon was one of the largest toy manufacturers in the world, so we have a pretty good selection of the toys that are all made here, from drums to trolleys. And interesting story with the trolleys or trains as well. Lionel trains. The very first Lionel train was based on a Morton Converse of Winchendon train. That's what he used, so it's kind of neat.
Cool.
Yeah. So, in fact, for the paranormal people too, Winchendon also made Ouija boards.
That did catch
Yeah.
my eye. That's an old one.
Yeah.
How old is that?
That's from about 1910.
Nice.
Again, made by the Converse Company, right here in Winchendon.
Was the planchette with it originally?
No, planchette is an aftermarket one, but we still gonna find one of the originals.
A lot of cool stuff in here. Get some new additions, I see.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, we should take it all in here, then we can move on to the next room,
Sure.
which is our toy horse room.
Oh, that's the best one, Sandra. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, so in here is a good selection of all of our rocking horses.
Which used to be upstairs,
They
right?
were upstairs, yeah, we did move them down because we're now in Airbnb upstairs, so we needed to kind of move everything down to this level. But all these, or 95% of the horses here in this room were made here. A couple of others were made in nearby towns, but Winchendon was known for rocking horses, which is what our town symbol.
Did you find that the activity kind of migrated down with the horses? When they
I
moved,
think,
or-
yeah, exactly, yes. There's definitely energy with all these horses, and we've had several EVPs. We have an SLS video with stick figure riding one of the horses pretty much on command. It's pretty cool stuff. We have another SLS with talking about the creepy eyes.
Mhm.
They do have creepy
They are
eyes.
very creepy.
I believe there's an EVP on
Yes,
that.
we do.
didn't
We have
talk
that as
about
well,
that.
so we'll dig that out. But yeah, there's definitely some energy with all these. They're beautiful horses, but they're also creepy.
Yes, they are. Excellent.
Yeah.
Don, you have that SLS video evidence, don't you? You could share with us.
Absolutely,
maybe-
yeah. We'd love to have you take a look. It's pretty cool stuff.
That'd be great, and then we can go right into the EVP.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect.
Definitely get
Awesome.
the vote, sure.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right, guys, we're going upstairs now. And as you see these pictures on the wall here, I have a pretty interesting story about that. We were doing a Christmas house tour several years ago now, and a couple of ladies were standing at the landing here, and they just fell right down the stairs. All the pictures came right off the wall. Very, very weird because they were young women. They were like, really, there's nothing we could trip over. It's just they felt like they were pushed, and it was just really crazy. I mean, the pictures were hung on the wall with little hooks, but they just on their own came off the wall. So we thought it was weird, and it was, fortunately they were fine and whatnot. And fast forward to a couple months later, we're doing a investigation with a private group. I was doing the same thing I'm doing with you guys, leading them up the stairs, and I told them the same story. And I left them, saying, enjoy your investigation. And all of a sudden, like almost on cue, all the pictures came right off the wall again.
No.
Wasn't this a time when you were still a skeptic?
Oh, absolutely. This is like, that was sort of my believing moment right there. Is when, yeah, I was like, they just came off the wall. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
So we've since screwed a lot of them in there, so I don't think they're gonna fly off the wall again. Maybe I should unscrew them because people like that.
It was.
Yeah, something.
But yeah, it was interesting. So yeah, so now I can take you into the master bedroom.
Well, thanks.
Excellent.
All right, guys. So in here is what we call the master bedroom of the Isaac Morse House. Converted to our Airbnb last year, so you too can stay here and spend the whole night and do your own investigations.
Did a wonderful job.
Yes.
The comforts of I'd stay here.
Hopefully the ghosts stay
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Oh, look, the door's closed.
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of the 3 bedrooms up here that you can rent out. Well, you rent out the whole house basically, but we sleep up to 6 people comfortably for investigations. So it's nice.
Go so separately.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure they're sure to entertain. I can almost guarantee it.
And what type of activity you generally have reported in this room?
This room here, it's again the overall, the voices, lots of voices. I don't have anything specific to this room that I can think of, but I know people, pretty much every room in this house has gotten something.
Right.
So. All right, guys, just watch your head going through here or go through our middle bedroom here. This room, with the investigating crowd, has been the most popular room of the house, just basically because what occurred here and which I discussed in my earlier, with what Alan, committing suicide in this very room. It has been an appeal, or I don't say appeal, but it's been a draw for investigators to come in and investigate this room and sleep in the same room. So it's been very, very popular.
Really?
Yeah.
As far as activity goes, would you say it's...
Yes, and it used to, before it was an Airbnb, it was my office. Yeah, which people were like, "Why do you want to make that room your office?" It was just a nice room, I thought. For me, anyways, I feel that any of the entities in this house like me, so I'm not really afraid of them, or it doesn't really bother me too much. So.
Yeah, and I think that's an important piece. It's always, especially in regard to Alan and what happened to him, I think it's always been very sensitive. I know you don't generally share what happened at the beginning, unless they want to know. We do have a piece of evidence that we recorded in this room interacting with Alan that I think was kind of interesting. It's a REM pod session. We had K2s going off as well. I believe we have that video we can take a look at.
Great, yeah, take a look.
Excellent, let's do it.
There are children up there.
What?
There are children upstairs.
This thing won't stop though. I don't care
They
about upstairs.
even-
What's going on here?
Alan, could you move away from that to make it go
Stop.
off, please? To make it stop,
Please.
and we'll
You
know.
got our attention.
Please step
Thank
away.
you.
All
No, further away.
Yeah,
Like towards me.
I'm gonna play this again.
Wait. Don't play it yet. All right. Thank you, Alan.
I'm gonna
All
play
right.
it again. When you hear the voice, I want you to light that up.
If it's you,
And look, her K2, the K2 is going off.
put the key. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, we do have a K2 action.
All right.
So that was a piece of evidence that I had personally captured with Tom and a couple other folks in the group. Lynn was here. Again, Alan liked to interact with that. We were respectful of it. And that was pretty good to see all the equipment going off at the same time like that.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that was an amazing
Awesome.
clip.
Yeah, it was fun to share.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Well, that was a great tour, Don. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all the information, and we look forward to staying here.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome here anytime. It's a great place, and we're always doing new stuff here. So if you come here once, come here again, you'll find probably something different. We try to do that for everybody. Is just add a little bit more of an experience for everybody. So we try to change it up. So come once, come many times.
Yeah, I think adding the B&B aspect too, it just really made it different. It makes it a different experience, and getting to spend the whole night here.
Exactly.
That's a real great addition on it.
Enjoy.
What you did. So thank you for your time and sharing what you've done.
You're welcome. Enjoy
Thank
it.
you so much.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you for joining us today. We had a great time and we learned a lot.
And thanks for Don O'Neill for walking us through and taking us on the tour. And Sandra, where can folks find us?
You can find us online at our website at the GBP-TV.com, and you can also find us on Facebook at the USS Salem Paranormal Experience.
Why don't you ring us out, Sandra?
All right. Woo.